today on the Healing Chefs podcast. Again, the Healing Chefs podcast is all about chefs, and what I mean by that is chef is derived from the word chief. Chief is a leader. Everyone that I have on here, I believe, is a chef in their own way. Today's chefs are the helpful content. I'm sorry with everybody's names. If you could introduce yourselves, please, and tell everybody exactly who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump into the segments.
Okay, so you've been calling me the girl from the helpful content, but
yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm Molly Hennessy.
Molly Hennessy.
Like the drug, like the drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, that was clapping for you, not really alcohol, but also if you're into that too.
Yeah, right. You can just clap for the coolness of the name in general.
You're not.
But yeah, no. So I'm Molly Hennessy. I'm 38 years old. I was born in Tucson, Arizona, and raised in Massachusetts. I moved back to Arizona to go to college at ASU, where I met Leanne, who's also with us today. I'll let her introduce herself. Yeah, shout out to ASU, good Sun Devils.
Great party place. Yeah. College.
Yes, yeah. They at the time, at least, it was the number one in the country, which is what.
Oh, there you go.
What drew me to it for sure. Yeah. So grew up in Massachusetts, moved to Arizona. Now I live in Mesa, Arizona with my husband, who's also a veteran.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. We've got 2 dogs and 5 chickens. And back in 2015, I started a business, which is called Next Chapter Solutions. And what we do is help start up other businesses. Primarily cannabis businesses at this point, although we've dabbled in some other industries. And we do a lot of application writing, the startup processes, and then create efficiencies in the business through improved standard operating procedures and employee training programs.
Hell yeah.
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 So that's what we do.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Is it the new world with especially with like retention nowadays and stuff, you need to have all that stuff in place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, certainly there's a lot of rules and regulations, a lot of details. There's also, the goal of trying to keep employees, it's incredibly costly if you're always losing employees, but also if they can be really efficient at what they do. Now we're talking about dialing in costs and just making your business more efficient all around.
Yeah, I love that because being a chef, working at different restaurants and stuff, and having to control the cost of goods and cost of labor and stuff, because the investors talking about ROI constantly in your ear.
Money matters. Yeah. Money matters.
Unfortunately, it makes the world go around. So it's the nature of the beast. But and your friend Leanne.
Yeah. I'll let her introduce herself. Well, so I will say in college I met Leanne, who also happens to be from Massachusetts. But yeah, we met my freshman year of college, and she's now been my best friend for about 20 years. We lived together for a couple of years, and she's been working with me, I should say, for the last couple of years. So I'll let her kind of introduce herself. But
awesome.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you. My name's Leanne.
Woo. Everybody calm down.
And I am the instructional design for Next Chapter Solutions. I have a teaching background. I work in a Title I school district. So I've been left to my own devices for most of my career. And I've also had to take a lot of training and professional development courses over time. Mm-hmm. So I kind of brought that knowledge into Molly's business to find the most efficient way to train employees and develop content that was as interesting as possible.
Yeah, engaging and whatnot, and trying to find.
Yeah, I don't think there's any lack of interesting in cannabis. I think it's really about engaging and making it fun. We do a lot of the really boring stuff, like the rules, the regulations, and so how do you make that part of it fun? We know that growing weed and talking about weed in general is fun for most of us, I think. But
I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that even that we were talking about at the sesh that we had last night, the not fun things. That we're going to start introducing and trying to help out with the community too, because it's about education. Mm-hmm. You can't change the market by just putting products out.
Right.
You have to educate them.
Yep.
And then from there, you can change the market from the outside in by educating the consumer, because then the consumer protests with their money.
Yes.
That's how that works.
Yes.
Right. So, and if they have a bad experience with weed, then they're going to be turned off, right?
Anything,
you need to drive them to the right product.
One person, somebody's happy about something, they tell one person. Someone's pissed off, they tell 100 people.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're saying something, that I'm sure is hitting bells with Leanne, which is it's all about education. And one of the other things, it's one thing to have people having bad experiences with the product. It's another that to find a way that we're all kind of talking about the product in the same way, like vocabulary is very specific and, we all understand these words that we use.
Yeah.
And in the cannabis industry, there's a lot of words that are loosely defined and or are just interesting words in themselves. A lot of the mainstream don't understand these words. So making sure that people do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I was keying on lately was like different tiers of like hash and stuff like that. For the consumer, we have really no idea because there's nobody been like overtly like educating people on like this stuff, like this is this and this is 6-star, and I'm like, I don't know, it's 1,000-star. It's great. I'm glad that you guys are doing that kind of stuff. We really need that stuff. You call it boring, I call it exciting, because it brings change, and that's what we need. So let's go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is cannabis journey, and then this is all about your guys'. This podcast is about the human experience, so this will be about you guys individually, kind of. I'll just keep smoking. Oh, hi. So cannabis journey is all about how you individually found cannabis. Like myself, I first like smoked at a ditch party, and from there I was like, I don't know what I'm doing the rest of my life, but I'm smoking weed. And it was like,
how old were you?
13, and it was out here, and it was like flour out of a makeshift pipe that out of aluminum foil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Aluminum foil and what else?
No.
Nothing, just aluminum foil?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what we would do back in the day is wrap the aluminum foil around like maybe like a Sharpie or something.
Okay.
And then like you pinch it off and then turn that part into a bowl and like try to fold it down to where it's heavier in the middle, and then that bowl, and then you just throw it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
that or a can.
I'm thinking about the soda bottles.
I was
used to
apples.
use.
I would steal
The
apples
apples
from
are
the
best way.
cafeteria.
See,
that's the best way.
the
best old school way.
It's so much better because even in the soda cans, one, you're burning that ink that's on there.
Yeah.
But what people don't know is it's not a metal can. Just there's a small plastic lining inside of there. So you just smoked that plastic too.
Yeah, when I was talking about the soda bottles, I'm talking about plastic bottles. I did.
I
did a lot of plastic back in the day.
I'm sorry. I was a little more I'm with aluminum cans. I'm sorry.
Leanne's over there with her apples.
Yeah. Dude, you're at Whole Foods. I'm at Circle K.
That's what's up.
And you're at Target.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Damn.
Okay. But so
how did
the journey. Yeah. And I'm going to try. I've been like thinking about this in my head. This is my first podcast. So I was like, how do I summarize my journey in cannabis? And it's actually really long. So I'm going to do the best I can it's long and deep, right? It's a very complex experience.
Right.
So
can't be deep unless you think about deep things.
I will summarize it best I can. So sometimes I say that my story started before I was born with my father's story, who allegedly had a cannabis business, long before it was legal, and ended up in prison for a couple of years. I say allegedly because my father died when I was 3, so I never got to hear his story and what this sounded like to him. So I actually didn't hear a lot of the stories until I was in the regulated cannabis industry. And my mom and my family started going, you should probably know more details and hear it. I'll get to that, how I got into it. But didn't know most of my life that was his story. And when I was about 14, I smoked my first joint in the woods, and probably fell in love with it right away. Yeah. Kind of never went back. And it was again, in and out, progressive, more times or less in my life. I was using more times than another. But at 14, I accepted it for something that was good for me to do when I was hanging out with my friends to relax and be silly and have a good time. And
Yeah.
that's what it was. Looking back on it, I was probably self-medicating in a lot of ways because it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to be a 14-year-old girl.
Have you been alive before?
Yeah. It's hard to be a 14-year-old girl without a father, nonetheless.
You got stacked. You got stacked. Yeah.
So processing all that, I was probably self-medicating. Regardless, I definitely acknowledge it for something that was a safer alternative.
But aren't we all like continually self-medicating? We get up in the morning, we drink coffee.
Yeah.
What's your
it starts in my coffee.
What's your
Okay,
vice?
well, so to go there, I always say my original gateway drug was coffee. So I started coffee when I was 13.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 or 13. I can't remember the exact
year.
year.
When you get your first soda.
Oh, yeah, the
or
soda.
Sugar. Sugar's your first drug.
Yeah, sure.
Sugar.
There you go. Okay.
Every other drug wishes it was sugar because
Yeah.
sugar's in everything.
Everything.
And you got it coming and going.
Did you see what else I got you in that box, by the way?
Oh, there's a box. And we're going to tell you what's inside of it at the promo thing. You got to watch till the end. Shitty.
It is. It's part of my bag of tricks, right? So it is the sugar. I love coffee.
There's sugar, and then there's vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. And we'll show you maybe.
Vegetables.
If you're good.
So okay,
or
so
bad. I don't know.
So I was talking about being 14. It was hard. Self-medicating. Went through high school. It became this thing where I'd rather do that than use alcohol. It was safer for me. It actually was a better experience. I remembered it the next day, which was great.
As soon as you hit it, or like when you drink alcohol, your body's not like, ow.
Yeah. Well, I was never trying to black out. And I never liked that, right? I knew that there was a limit. You had to know when to stop. And it was just always a safer experience for me. So cannabis was that. I go to ASU because I can handle it.
Yeah.
and I mean, I still drank plenty and, was at the frat parties, but I'll tell this story of like my first frat party, which was looking for the girls in the corner of the room, and I'll let Leanne talk about this a little bit. But looking at the girls in the corner of the room that were smoking weed, and
it was me.
It was her.
It's only me though,
and some other girls.
You're on psychedelics.
We could talk about the other girls. We could talk about Pamela's a fun story. She was actually the first girl who smoked a lot with me and was very involved in my cannabis journey, and which became. I'll just say I may or may not have been selling any sort of illegal drugs at the time to probably just support my own habit. I mean, there was an entrepreneur in me that was like, I want to, sell coffee and some other some sugar and some other drugs and
coffee,
whatever I was selling. So that did really well.
Sumatran Hills.
Yeah, that did really well at all parties is what I found. The frat parties for sure, but really all parties. And even, in high school, I was probably the girl that you knew you could get some of this from. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, good times. And I met Leanne and some other girls. Leanne and I moved in together, and that was all very successful and fun.
Yep.
And then at some point, I kind of gave it up for a couple of years. I mean, at least on the reg, because I hit a point where I was like graduated and had to be a grown up. There's that. I was working in healthcare, and I'm not sure that I completely understood the depth of healthcare related to cannabis and sort of the opportunities there. I think it took me longer than it should have to put that all together. But suddenly I look around and states are legalizing for medical purposes, including Arizona. So in like 2012 or so, I started looking for job opportunities in the industry.
Nice.
And it was my degrees from ASU and working in the healthcare industry in general. That's what I was doing coming out of college. I was working in healthcare. That all transitioned nicely. And I got a management job at one of the first dispensaries here in Arizona.
Which one?
At the time, it was known as SWC Tempe.
I remember SWC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it is the
Yeah.
Cannabis, and it is Cannabis Company.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Or I remember that.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
You've seen it for sure. You've seen it.
I remember that from the present.
Yeah.
I haven't been smoking weed for like 3 days straight.
Yeah. No, they're here. They're doing it. You know, that's been a really, again, now it's been 11 years. So they are in 17 markets. Don't quote me on this. I should know this because I write the knowledge base articles about it, but it comes and goes. And 80 plus licenses. Again, it comes and goes. I don't know my number to date.
Damn.
I should, but it comes and goes real quick. And there's a lot of them. And they've been pretty successful. So I also worked for them for about a year and helped with their SOPs and their training programs. I worked for another company that is now a publicly traded multi-state operator who, I wrote a lot of their SOPs and employee training programs.
Did they give you any shout out for that?
Do they? Did they? I mean, sometimes they do. They pay me.
Okay.
So that shout out.
Oh,
and
I don't know. I've just seen a lot of MSOs and stuff like that. Just take a lot of people's SOPs.
Totally.
SOPs.
Totally.
With no fucking shine.
Absolutely. That's a real thing. And this is where, when we start talking about employee training programs and SOPs in general, where do I stand on that? And there's something that people miss in this, which is the way that they treat employees and or the people who are doing the work in general.
Well, we got it. Yeah.
And there's room. Yeah. And I think there's room for the MSOs and the big corporate brands, as they'll call themselves. But I think there's even more room for smaller businesses.
There's a new way coming, and I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be a part of it. So we're gonna end up doing these events and sessions and other things like that.
I want to hear about it. I can't wait to hear about it.
We're gonna I'm gonna change it because I'm not gonna be doing it to profit. I'm just gonna do it to put these people on. Yeah. So again, we're changing the market again. I'm not gonna.
Well, that is one of the things that I love about this industry is that I feel like it's always changing and there's room for change. There's still a lot of time and room for changes before the market even really hits maturity or the way that it's going to be or whatever that is. And maybe it'll never be like that. It'll just keep evolving.
We forget that too. There's a lot of states that aren't even
we're not even there yet. Right. So there's a lot of time and a lot of room. I mean, maybe not enough time.
We'll go into more of that of the mental health section. We'll talk about the Taylor Swift thing and that part. But did you want to go ahead and tell us about how you found cannabis real quick?
Boy.
Oh yeah.
So we can.
So my father is a deacon.
That's a fun way to start.
Yeah. No, I was a little bit of a rebellious teenager, I think, and it kind of came with the territory growing up in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, I guess that's
we got high in the woods and got lost, and so
you made it out. Way to go!
I made it out exactly, and then I never stopped. Barely, if you know me, barely. No, I think it was always really kind of my choice of fun as well, growing up in Massachusetts, and it's pretty prevalent out there. We used to go to Vermont and Maine and go skiing. What do? You smoke weed.
Yeah.
So
I'm partially from Missouri, so I get I'm a Midwest kind of boy.
Is that where you're originally from?
Yeah, St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just a culture out there, right? I went to UNH for a year, and met Molly smoking a joint.
Nice.
Yep. Moved in and but she also kind of turned it into a business early, like we heard. So she knew what she was doing. So we really entered it early. We're pushing 40 here.
Hey, I'm of a certain age. I'm 39. So I mean, but I've just learned that they've been messing up our calendars, and it's actually 13 months and 28 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm only 36.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
all right.
That's science.
That's
And
science or math or however that works.
No,
that sounds right to me.
Yeah, that's
I'm with
that's
that.
when I'm really high, and I just, whether it's really science or not, I just say
Yeah,
that.
when it hits you and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
old and that's a bad thing.
No,
You get into that.
No,
That's
not
a-
yet. We're not there yet.
It's
Just-
not
Not yet.
Yeah.
Just because they wear the war pleated fucking dockers don't mean I have to.
Yeah.
You couldn't do what I do. I can.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, fuck you, pay me. But thank you for that. Let's go ahead and jump into psychedelics real quick.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
do. We're gonna we kind of went a little bit, but we'll have to cut these a little quick. But we'll go into, what is it? Trip Tales. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Everybody else. Oh, so Trip Tales is all about psychedelic experiences.
Yeah.
Myself, ketamine helped me turn my reactive ass around. Used to be really mad all the time.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of moments lately that I've had to go, okay, we're kind of back in the same spot. We're kind of going back and backwards. So something that might be in here
In the box.
but you gotta
Yeah.
wait till the end.
Yeah.
Oh god. Keep your attention. Maybe you're watching when it's already recorded,
And
so
you
you
want-
can go ahead and check it out at the end. But there's stuff in here lately that I've had to do and
Yeah.
wash that ego and be like, you're just shut up,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So if you could share anything like that with us.
Yeah. So I have been thinking about this concept of safer alternatives and exploring different options for dealing with mental health and or addictions in general. So we started talking about sugar and we were talking about coffee and we were talking about cannabis, which may or may not be an addiction. It's at
I'm
least
in. Oh.
incredibly habitual, but here we are. It's something that I do a lot in my life for lots of different reasons and find medicinal and holistic value in the cannabis experience.
Absolutely.
But
edibles too, or can be psychedelic.
Mhm.
Yeah, very much.
yeah,
So.
yeah, absolutely. And there's a cookie in there too, which, by the way, I should say, I did not grow the cookies in the box.
She's giving out secrets.
I know, I didn't grow those.
You didn't grow the cookies out, but I know somebody who does grow cookies, and they're going to be on maybe next week.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing about that. So that is not me, but I did recently start some various farming activities, and I did grow some mushrooms in there. That
God damn it!
You're
Now
not
you got
supposed to say that.
Well, I'll show you though, at least at the
Yeah.
end. God damn.
By the way, I have this whole farming thing going on in my life right now, which I love.
Psychedelics ruin the surprise.
Yes.
That's gonna be a clip. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So yeah, it's a trip. The whole experience is a trip, and getting to know what's in that box and in the helpful content and some of these other things that I'm working on. But I have a new business, which is Pasadena Farms, and it is producing fruits and vegetables, and this is part of the chickens and the egg experience. A lot of it's just R&D, but there's definitely some mushrooms in there that create a very
like lion's mane, blue meat,
the blue
stuff
meanie.
like that.
Yeah, there's various strains. Yeah, for sure.
Cordyceps.
So yeah, there's various genetics, just like in cannabis. There's a lot of different strains, if you will, of these mushrooms. And those ones are one of a couple of different strains that I'm working on and growing and getting to know that experience. So look forward to sharing more about that. But
absolutely.
yeah.
I'll have you on, maybe we'll do a special episode and
we
just
can talk all about that.
All about that.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
absolutely.
Dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
We'll run it. All right. Did you want to share anything in psychedelic or?
I don't know if I should.
That's what she said.
And yeah.
Michael Scott clip now. All right.
You got it.
You don't have to.
What time is it?
It's time to go to our little break thing, and
Okay.
then we'll come.
I only asked because I heard you say we got to cut this clip, this
And-
short, and like, you know, I'm sure both of us could talk about this stuff all day long.
No.
But I know you're
We're-
working on a time, so
We're good. Did you
Yeah.
want to talk about some more?
Uh,
We have a little bit of time.
what did we just do? We got through the journey, and then you were like, "Oh yeah, the psychedelic." Or,
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Yeah, and you
And
said that
then-
you're working on that.
Yeah.
growing
So
that.
is this the plug section of it?
No.
Is
Oh,
what
no,
we're-
no. Okay.
Are we going to talk about
No.
mental health? Is that where you want us to go?
So hold on.
Yeah.
We'll take it's like a minute break or so. He's gonna play this
Yeah.
commercial, and then we'll be right back with mental health as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The one right here.
I
on,
get the one off of Arizona Ave.
Okay.
That's where I'm right down the
Thomas.
street from there. That's the one. Hey, if you're in Arizona, also,
Long
hey, pause, long wongs, pause. Or if you're into that, whatever. But long wongs out here with the wings are fire as hell. But don't go to the one on Dobson or like Arizona Ave, maybe. Dobson, get your shit together. I got it the other day. It was trash. Oh God, wasted my money. What the? I can't hear myself anymore. Hello. Anyway, I can't hear myself. So if we could just go to mental health as well. Hello. Are we back?
You're good though. People can hear you talking.
Okay. All right. So
Are we back?
yeah, I can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear me. My bad, everybody. It's just kind of odd. So mental health is wealth is all about obviously mental health,
Yeah.
and I'm a veteran with PTSD, and I deal with it daily. Do you want to share anything like myself when I like one of the things that I really wanted to do with this is try to help people with like some coping ideas.
Yeah.
Like myself, I tell everybody once I get like really stressed or something, I just start like counting things or doing like math or something or cleaning.
Yeah.
Because I can control both of those things.
Yeah.
I can't control like life sometimes.
Yeah.
No future or past tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like cannabis has been a big part of that journey for me. Anything, you know, acknowledging what I use it for. And, you know, I've been in and out of using it more or less in different times in my life, depending on what's going on. And, you know, in terms of whether or not it's addictive, it's definitely habit forming. And sometimes that's just the lifestyle that I need in that moment is just to be using regularly. And so, you know, over the last couple of years, I've been looking at that and just thinking that there might be other ways to use drugs if needed, and or there might be safer alternatives altogether.
Mhm.
So I found you got to always start with the basics, things they say that you should do. This is daily exercise. You know, you go back to the basics of 30 minutes every day of focusing on
Smoking weed. Yeah. I
No,
do it-
we
I do
smoke
it
and
every
work
day.
out. We're
yeah,
the
but you smoke
workout.
and then you work out,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
And that's fine, but like make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And like these, it's supposed to be doing these things that they recommend for
What
general
are we
health.
supposed to be doing?
Exercising, moving your body intentionally for 30 minutes every day. You should be eating well, but maybe not perseverating or obsessing over what you eat. You should, hopefully you enjoy what you eat. You don't want
I agree with
eating to
these
be
things.
a bad
Yeah,
experience.
Just balance, right? We
Yeah,
need to
balance.
have
Yeah, I always
this is what I'm
told-
talking about.
I always
right?
told
Balance.
people even if you like mess up on your diet or whatever,
Yeah.
working out, don't make a bad day a bad week, don't make a bad week
Yeah.
a bad month, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Right.
being present is really important. So
Yeah.
they say, the experts. I
Yeah,
think a lot of
that's what-
experts
yeah, no
say that you should
future past tripping.
Yeah. Say that you should meditate. So even like the idea of being present and meditation, practices and being very present and being in the moment, not future or past tripping, which is what you sort of opened with here, which I think is important. And what are the things that you do to cope with stress or anxiety or whatever that is, and trying to find the healthiest way? And again, that's very subjective and it's a different experience, but
Yeah.
in general, what makes you hopefully as happy and generally well as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
I read a lot. They say read. I listen to a lot of podcasts and,
That's
listen,
nice.
interact with people.
Wish I had the attention span to read. If you
Get-
can't tell, I'm just like
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. It's a practice, right? Same thing with meditation or like yoga or, working out even. Sometimes it's hard to just focus on exercise or these things that we're supposed to be doing, because even cooking. So I think you were a chef is what you were saying. I don't cook because it's very difficult for me to, stay focused on all those tasks for a really long time like that. Those specific ones. I don't practice them enough to
Everybody
be like
has
good
their
at
own
it.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've been spending more time in nature, gardening, and this is where the farm and all of that comes back into play. And been focusing on spending more time
Like
connecting with nature.
G.I. Joe said, knowledge is power. Go Joe.
Yeah.
But it's true though. Like the more like you're
Yeah.
growing things, so you understand where they come from and respect that. So you're
Yeah.
learning more, and then you're learning how to use that to help yourself.
Yeah.
And you can heal yourself with like raw foods and different things like that. As I talk and I eat a bunch of I'm drinking shit like
Monster.
this.
Yeah.
I preach a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not even really preaching, but I'm just saying, like, I know the answers. I'm also
sometimes-
not going to live my life like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, like, scared and like all sorts of shit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that too.
Everything within moderation.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with that. That's very much been a practice for me in my
Except
life.
for really hard drugs. No. I'm good.
Yeah, hard. Is this how we describe it? That's the word of.
Some people can handle that shit. I can't do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. Well, and it's all a spectrum, right? And it just depends on what you're doing and when you're doing it. And
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
judge anybody for what they're doing. That's a personal thing of my own. So
yeah, there are definitely some things that are more or less dangerous than others.
So mental health,
And-
real quick, before
Yeah.
we jump into the promo thing and
Yeah.
have to get out of here. So with the Taylor Swifting, what did you have a question for me or?
Oh, will you explain the Taylor Swifting again? I think I missed it the first time
Okay.
that you explained this, and I'd like to hear your explanation of it. I think I have an understanding of what you mean by that, and as a Swiftie, I am interested to hear what you.
Absolutely. All
Yeah,
right,
what that
everybody,
sounds like.
hey, zoom in. All right, come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So, what I'm talking about Taylor Swifting is really what I'm talking about is the different branding and stuff, and the easing off of the more colorful marketing and stuff
Mhm.
that all of us stoners have grown up with and come to love and create.
Yeah.
Now, we are very wary of what I call almost the gentrification of cannabis. Because like I've seen a lot of brands lately with just like a peach front, and it doesn't even say anything that really specifically says it's cannabis.
Okay.
And that's great because there's always room in a market for all these different groups.
Yeah.
But we also worry about the Walmartization, the overproduction, the oversaturation, and stuff like that. Because a lot of the people that are doing these kinds of things were afraid to touch a pound, and were buying it from us anyway.
Yeah.
So when you come in and say you got to hide all your shit, we're like, I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
But like I said, though, like I'm not saying this like I don't enjoy it. There's definitely a market for it, and there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people can get that. But we want to make sure that we're also well represented in this thing, because we were here when everyone was afraid to be in here.
Yeah.
So pay us our dues.
Absolutely.
Give us our flowers now.
Yeah.
And we're not like, I'm not mad at, there's our people that are mad about it, but like that's why there's multiple channels on the TV.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Or we'd all be doing the same fucking thing, and it'd be boring as shit.
Yeah. No,
That's what
I
it's
get
about.
it. I get it. And, I want to see all of the original and or grassroots, community represented as we want to be represented. I want that. But
we can be equal shelves and shit like that. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, the shelving of it all is that's a good word to use, the shelving of it all. But really the point is that there's room and space for all of that. And I do think that it's very important to also make the room and the space for the Swifties. But for me, that I was hoping it meant something about making sure that, the women and the moms and the school teachers.
Well, that's what I was saying. There's a time and place for
all
that.
Of these
and
people who are educating our community is explaining the history of it. I mean, we can get into the history of prohibition and like making sure that we understand even the roots of that and the role that women even specifically played in that.
Well, yeah,
and
all the racism and all that. Yeah.
And if you get the women involved and you make it, and not that there's no women in the grassroots organization, there certainly is, but I admit, and I think Leanne felt this way too.
Been women down.
Yes, absolutely.
Shit,
there's always been the women there.
Miss Jill Genetics out here
absolutely.
Jelly
There's always been the
created
women
out
there.
here.
But I think that there's a lot of women out there who can, the more we understand and can explain and educate, because we've got so many women in the education systems and, all of that. You got the moms, right? You get the moms involved who have so much spending power as well. And making sure that everybody understands the truth of the product, and regardless of what you want it to look like, and whether or not we use the word cannabis, because that word in itself is very complex when you start looking at the definitions and making sure that we all agree on what we're talking about when we say cannabis, because there's, different names for that. That's very complicated. So whether we want to remove certain words from the way we talk about the product, which is what you were talking about earlier, I think that's,
and again,
a conversation in itself,
Yeah, no, that's why, again, there's a market for that. Like when I go buy clothes, I don't go buy stuff like from, I don't know what shop people buy from anywhere, but I'm going to go and buy stuff from like some wild section and come in with some wild stuff on. Some people are going to come in and be like way more professional and clean and stuff like that. And
then you got Taylor Swift coming in with a glittery, jumpsuit or glittery bodysuit. And I love when she pops in. She's so fun and just like brings a light energy to everything she does.
Yeah. So yeah,
that was my thing on the Swiftie.
So I'm not mad about Taylor Swift.
If she wants to jump in a sparkly, glittery jumpsuit right now and perform something great, I'm here for her. And she is one of the smartest business women of this decade for sure. So
yeah, no, I
just saying.
Wow.
But I'm not quite sure what that has to do with the point that I'm making, is that we don't want you to come in and whitewash us and
Whitewash.
gentrify us out
Yeah.
of here
Right.
because
Yeah, absolutely.
you guys are like a lot of people, and I want the moms and stuff are great and everything, and again, there's a market for that for people who don't want to be seen as like myself
a
with loud
stoner.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also, it's been fear mongering, calling us stoners in a
Yeah.
derogatory way.
As if that's a
Oh,
bad
I've had
thing.
to hide it
So,
my whole life.
Right.
You know?
So-
exactly.
I've
I've
tried
been a
to
stoner
keep it a
since I was
secret.
14.
So the Taylor
I
Swift
can't
thing
do
is
it.
also making us more
Yeah.
approachable. So I do love that it's
Yeah.
in the market.
It's,
We
yeah,
are
it's now
just
the cool thing to
worried
do.
about we were the cool bad part of town, and now you're coming in and some people are trying to gentrify it and
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that we got our cool ass fucking part of town, and we're gonna have graffiti
Yeah.
on shit on our side of town. You just don't have to come over here.
Yeah.
But we can all just like mix and mingle and love each other. And I'll see you at the next Taylor Swift show.
Yeah.
Taylor, hit me up in the DMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelsey's got to be getting tired.
We'll exchange friendship bracelets, right?
Yeah. All right. I don't really. But yeah, no.
That's what they do.
So yeah, there's no hate at
Yeah.
all. So if there's anybody that has some misconception that I'm like mad about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Good.
no, not at all.
I wanted to make sure you weren't saying that in a derogatory way.
No, not at all.
Great.
It's just in a descriptive way because she's very modern
Yeah.
and very fashion forward
Commercialized.
and very artistic.
Yes.
So, but that's what I see their marketing as.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
similar to her, and
Yeah.
because she's a very big influence on the world right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
she
why.
is.
Absolutely. And I would.
That's why I used her as a reference.
Can
Yeah.
we get her in the cannabis
I'm not sure.
industry?
Well,
is the
no, I'm not
question.
sure I'm going to go to her for cannabis.
I'm not dropping the mic, but
No, that was great. No, it's great. No, I love it. And I'm not going to her for cannabis, but I would go for her. Go to her.
if
for
she
Why
sold
not?
some
That
bullshit,
would
you'd
be
buy
a
that
show.
shit the fuck up. You'd be standing out there like
Yeah.
the people stand for burner. You'd be like, I'm a Swiftie, I'm
She
smoking
is.
Swifties. That's what she'd
Yeah.
have, bro. Get the fuck. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, Leanne,
I'd be there with you too. I'll try it out.
Leanne and I paid a lot of money. I was going to say too much, but that's not even true because I
Did
do it again and again. But Leanne and I paid a lot of money to go to Lovers and Friends Festival in Las Vegas the last couple of years. And I would spend money on that over and over again. But yet I did not get to an Eras Tour show, which I would have loved to. And I would have tried, but not as hard as I tried for Lovers and Friends. So.
You want to wear a diaper
No.
like some of them fucking people?
No.
I'm not
it's just
missing a
good
s-
show.
I'm not missing a song.
It's a good show.
I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mm-mm.
You can Google that shit. Anyway, we'll just go plug talk right now is the promo section. We'll just
Okay.
wrap it up.
All right.
This is dope.
Yeah. I'm glad I hope you're enjoying it.
Oh,
My headphones because you need to hear more than I do.
Hello. I don't know. So, plug talk is all about promo and stuff,
Yeah.
like things that you have coming up. Then I'll jump on here.
Yeah.
Oh, the box time.
Oh.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that as a clip. Have you seen Seven? What's in the box?
Yeah. That's
There-
such a good movie.
There's not a head in this one.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to tell? I was wait. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'll explain it to you for sure. So there's a cookie in there, and then there's a pretty blue bag. I only wish it had sparkles on it, but it's a blue bag that is some mushrooms. Yeah. And you can maybe just give me some feedback.
Alleged.
Yeah, alleged. And
This is satire.
imagine that there's some mushrooms in there that you're really going to enjoy and do whatever you're going to do with them. They're the raw mushrooms. I dried them, so they should last a while, and do whatever you're going to do in your chef style with them. But I'd love to hear some feedback of the product in general. And I'm in some R&D with that, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, so
Oh yeah.
in the next year, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing in cannabis because
What is in the cookie?
Oh.
I'm like
it's like legit not. There's no drugs in the cookie.
It's just a cookie?
Really?
It's just a cookie. It's just some sugar. And it's like
Is there cocaine in this?
No. No, it's just a good cookie.
You don't want to try this shit. I think I want to try that cocaine.
That's all. It's just some sugar.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I promise.
Did you bake that?
I didn't know how many.
That sounds like a bull. That sounds like that's a setup.
I didn't know how many people were going to be here. So shout out to the other people in the room for helping today. And
Habari Entertainment.
Yeah. And sorry for making you guys wait and running late if that's what we're doing. But I didn't know how many people were going to be here. And so I would have brought cookies for everybody. Leanne didn't even get a cookie. But I just wanted to bring you something. And while I didn't have any cannabis that you probably haven't tried or like anything super fire at my house.
You don't.
I did have mushrooms.
So none like. So I'm not like an elitist.
Mm-hmm.
I get like most of my homies and stuff nowadays. I get like homegrown and shit like
Love
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. I'm very much no.
That you probably have more fire if you're getting it home.
Oh. So I'm gonna show.
Right?
I'm gonna show you
So
this.
I felt like I couldn't bring you something that was going to be better than what what you've got to show right now. And I'm
this is a tester from Umami Seeds, grown by Team Skunkworks. If you want to check it out, I think you should.
I do.
Hit them up.
I want to.
I'm gonna give you guys a nug of this too,
Yeah.
or a little small one. But if you wanna, it's the tester 557.
Yeah.
But I mean.
Oh yeah, I didn't open this one. Oh yes. Mm.
And
Yeah.
flipping that.
So
she
says it.
She said,
So that's not what we smoked today, though. But whatever we smoked today was really good too. So shout out to that.
Oh, that was the Connected Tropical Z.
Yeah, that smelled.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that
But
was
yeah,
great.
Team Skunk Works. This fire,
Love
ridiculously fire weed, and the rosin too. I'm gonna be taking pictures and all that stuff. I already have a picture of some of this flower. Like a review on the page already. It's the one with like the techno beat.
Yeah.
Anything else to plug?
Oh, so the plug.
Sorry.
Yeah, just saying. So the helpful content. We will keep working on employee training programs and trying to. Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah, smoke it and then tell me about it. And
I will. Yeah. So we'll keep making helpful content about the product, the industry, regulations, rules through employee training programs or online courses in general.
I need to start sharing more of your posts.
We're customizing SOPs, that type of fun stuff, but we'll be at a couple conferences.
Stuff.
Yeah, we'll be at some conferences. We're going to be in New England Cannabis Conference in Boston in March. It's been a couple years since I've been to Vegas for MJ BizCon, so we'll probably go to that this year since we're not going to Lovers and Friends.
Damn.
But but
Taylor.
Yeah.
DMs. Hit me up.
Oh my gosh, Taylor, that would be my
Travis.
Yeah. Here.
Come on, guy. You got all that Pfizer money, dog.
Mr.
Pfizer. Sorry.
That. So that's it. And then my farm stuff. And so I'm excited to get into mushrooms. This is my thing in 2024. That's my new thing that I'm working on, really learning a lot about. And
dope.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I love shrooms and I want to learn too eventually.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's where it's at.
And we'll definitely have another episode. We'll sit here and like go through all of it.
Leanne, did I miss anything?
No,
is there anything we
need?
Is there anything we need to plug? What are we working on this year?
Mushrooms. You already said that.
Oh, and AI, right?
And AI. That's right.
Oh yeah, Leanne has helping me with some AI stuff.
Yeah,
easier.
I use AI.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of AI.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been big into tech in cannabis in general. I've been involved with a lot of like seed to sale software
this
stuff.
One person can do all that editing.
Yeah.
And shit
the
like
data.
Yeah.
I love all this stuff. I'm very impressed with what you guys have going on here. I can imagine you're super techie to execute, or at least.
Well, we record it here, and then everything outside
Yeah.
of here with the re-edits and stuff is me.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
Yeah.
I love what you guys
I
are
love it.
doing.
I appreciate it.
I've enjoyed your podcast and really appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. I also have
I've
some
had a great time.
slaps from the homies too, if you guys want the
Ooh.
stickers.
Yes, I love stickers.
This is Mr. Boofman and Fino Rich.
Yeah.
These are some growers out here.
Cool.
I love that.
We can
I
do
need it for my
that.
water bottle.
That.
I don't have.
Also,
enough
shout
stickers.
out to Mike Tyson. Sponsor me. I love these shits.
Oh,
My homeboy told me that was good.
They were awesome.
Hey, well, you just smoked one.
Oh, yeah.
So but that's what we were smoking with the Tropical Z. Shout out to also Team Skunkworks and stuff. He's got a lot of really cool shit going on. Go check him out. It's at Team Skunkworks with a Z. Tap in. You got the homie Boominati with this 1400 milligram juice that I'm about to fucking kill later. What I just gotta take pictures of it first, but I'm drinking all of it. He said to mix it with something. I'm gonna mix it with my mouth, and then my stomach. And then shout out Sin City Seeds. When we finally start growing, we're gonna grow the strain that I actually and the Valley named Nuclear Power, which is GMO times their blue power. And I also have a strain called Atlantis to grow because we're all searching for Atlantis. Shout out to Made, Project Pax, Wizard Trees, Preferred Gardens, Alien Labs, Ted.
yeah, you got a lot on your desk over there.
You do.
Thank you, everybody.
You covered everyone.
There's other stuff. And we got Sentiva coming up next. So thank you very much for coming out.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having us.
And I can't hear that either. I probably just blew up everybody's ears. Tap in, smoke up, trip out. Love you all. Have a good one. We're out.
Great time.